It was a sunny and calm day on April 28, 1988, when Aloha Airlines Flight 243 took off from Hilo International Airport in Hawaii, bound for Honolulu. The flight was supposed to be a routine inter-island hop, lasting only 40 minutes. The Boeing 737, carrying 89 passengers and 6 crew members, was cruising at an altitude of 24,000 feet over the Pacific Ocean, when suddenly a loud bang shattered the tranquility. The passengers and the crew were shocked and terrified to see that a huge section of the roof of the plane had ripped off, leaving a gaping hole in the fuselage. The cabin pressure dropped rapidly, and the oxygen masks dropped from the ceiling. The wind and the noise were deafening, and the temperature was freezing. The passengers and the crew were exposed to the elements, and some of them suffered from hypoxia, frostbite, and injuries. The most tragic fate befell Clarabelle Lansing, a 58-year-old flight attendant who was standing near the front of the cabin, serving drinks to the passengers. She was sucked out of the plane and fell to her death in the ocean. Her body was never recovered. The pilots, Captain Robert Schornsteimer and First Officer Madeline Tompkins, were stunned and bewildered by the sudden and catastrophic event. They had no idea what had happened and how much damage the plane had sustained. They quickly put on their oxygen masks and tried to regain control of the plane, which was shaking violently and losing altitude. They declared an emergency and contacted the air traffic control, requesting an immediate landing at the nearest airport, which was Kahului Airport on the island of Maui. The air traffic controllers, who were equally shocked and puzzled by the situation, cleared the runway for the emergency landing and alerted the emergency services. They also tried to assess the extent of the damage and asked the pilots to describe the condition of the plane. The pilots, however, could not see the hole in the roof and only knew that they had lost cabin pressure and part of the electrical system. They also did not know that the left engine had caught fire and that the tail section had been damaged by the debris from the roof. The pilots, who had more than 30 years of flying experience between them, relied on their skills and instincts to land the plane safely. They faced many challenges and difficulties, such as the reduced visibility, the strong crosswinds, the malfunctioning instruments, and the unstable flight controls. They also had to deal with the panic and the distress of the passengers and the crew, who were screaming and praying for their lives. The pilots, however, remained calm and composed and managed to stabilize the plane and reduce the speed and the altitude. They also communicated with the flight attendants, who tried to reassure and assist the passengers and prepare them for the landing. The landing was one of the most dramatic and miraculous moments in aviation history. The damaged plane, with its gaping hole and its burning engine, approached the runway, surrounded by fire trucks and ambulances. The pilots, who had only one chance to land the plane, executed a perfect touchdown and brought the plane to a halt without any further damage or injury. The passengers and the crew, who had survived the ordeal, erupted in cheers and applause and thanked the pilots for saving their lives. The emergency personnel, who were amazed and relieved to see the plane intact, rushed to the scene and helped the passengers and the crew to evacuate the plane and to receive medical attention. The landing of Aloha Airlines Flight 243 was hailed as a miracle in the sky and a testament to the courage and the competence of the pilots and the crew. The incident, however, also raised many questions and concerns about the safety and the maintenance of the plane and the regulation and the oversight of the airline industry. The investigation, conducted by the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, revealed that the plane had suffered from a structural failure caused by the metal fatigue and the corrosion of the fuselage due to the frequent and the short flights in the humid and the salty environment of Hawaii. The investigation also found that the plane had exceeded its design life and had not been inspected and repaired properly, according to the standards and the guidelines of the Federal Aviation Administration. The investigation also criticized the airline and the manufacturer for their negligence and their complacency, and recommended several changes and improvements in the policies and the practices of the aviation sector. The incident of Aloha Airlines Flight 243 was one of the most incredible and shocking events in aviation history, which had a lasting impact on the science and the society of flight. The incident, which was captured on camera and broadcast on television, stunned and horrified the public and sparked a debate and a demand for the better and the safer air travel. The incident, which was also studied and analyzed by the experts and the authorities, advanced and enhanced the knowledge and the technology of the aviation engineering and the aerodynamics. The incident, which was also remembered and honored by the survivors and the families, inspired and influenced the culture and the art of the flight. The incident, which was also a story of the human spirit and the human potential, showed the world the power and the possibility of the miracle in the sky.